Hi, my name is Dan, and today I'm going to be talking about dietary deficiencies and the connection with depression. First, I will start with macronutrients, so the nutrients that your body needs in large quantities, things like fats, protein, and carbs. When I was in my residency training, I would see patients with severe anorexia and depression. And I learned that antidepressants don't typically work in that patient population. And I was wondering why, so I read into it and learned the reason why. So if you remember for how antidepressants normally work is that when cell A releases neurotransmitters like serotonin, norepinephrine, or dopamine to cell B, your body doesn't like to waste anything. So cell A has pretty much like a vacuum pump that sucks up the rest of the neurotransmitters. And antidepressants block that pump so those neurotransmitters stay out there longer and have a better chance to interact with cell B and cause happiness. But those neurotransmitters have to come from somewhere. And when you take protein in your diet, protein's made up of amino acids, and your body uses those amino acids to make the neurotransmitters like serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. So if the antidepressant is blocking the pump to keep the neurotransmitters out there longer, but you don't have any protein in your diet to make neurotransmitters, you're keeping nothing out there longer. So that's why in anorexia, antidepressants don't normally help all that much. In addition to protein, fats are also needed for proper brain health. So the gray matter in the brain is 50% fatty acids. So things like fish oil and other fats that contain EPA and DHA fats are needed for proper brain health. Next is micronutrients. So as compared to macronutrients that your body needs a lot of to function properly, micronutrients like vitamins and minerals your body needs less of to function properly. When it comes to vitamins and mood, I normally see the B vitamins and vitamin D most associated with decreases in mood. I was reading a meta-analysis earlier today that looked at treating people with normal vitamin D levels with depression, and they treated them with vitamin D, and it didn't seem to do too much to benefit their mood. So what I took away from this trial, and in reading other trials as well with vitamin deficiencies, is that treating a deficiency may help the mood, but adding additional vitamin D or vitamin B to someone who has normal vitamin D or B levels doesn't seem to do all that much. So deficiencies are really where I started to focus on. Minerals seem to fall in that same category as well. So minerals like selenium, chromium, lithium, iodine, iron. The deficiencies seem to show some issues, but once they're normalized, adding more on top of that necessarily won't provide additional benefit. After looking into some of the evidence, I now felt more confident that treating deficiencies may help with mental health. But I didn't know how to find out what my own dietary deficiencies were. So what I did was I did some research on the internet, and I found a company called allergytest.co that you send a few hair samples in the mail, and then a few weeks later they'll tell you your deficiencies, they'll tell you food intolerances, and they will tell you if you have high levels of any heavy metals. So when I got the results from allergytest.co, I found 7 deficiencies that I had, and I'll read them to you. So first was iron. So think of like iron deficiency anemia, so fatigue there. Next was lecithin. So mood changes can happen with a lecithin deficiency. Next is lithium, fatigue. Magnesium, anxiety. Manganese, fatigue. Vitamin B12, fatigue. Vitamin B5, depression. So my own deficiencies that I had could contribute to anxiety, depression, and a lot of fatigue. To try to fix these deficiencies, I changed some things in my diet and I added a few supplements. So for the B vitamins, I added a B complex. For the lithium deficiency, I started taking an over-the-counter small amount of lithium called lithium orotate. And for the iron deficiency, I started taking an iron pill. For the other deficiencies, I approached them from a food standpoint. So lecithin you can get from eggs, so I added an egg to my breakfast regimen. For the magnesium and manganese, I started eating more macadamia nuts, so that's one of the snacks that I have during the day now. In addition to addressing the deficiencies, I also received some intolerance information. So two of my big ones were peanuts, which I ate peanut butter every day, and hops, which is found in beer. So I attempted to decrease things that I had an intolerance to. And that's not the same as an allergy. It just means that my body has a hard time digesting some of those intolerances. And then finally, what I received from the allergytest.co hair sample that I sent in was the heavy metals that were in high levels in my body. Two of the big ones being arsenic and cadmium. Before, I was a big tap water drinker. I would just drink the normal tap water when I wanted water. And I found that you can get high levels, depending on where you live, of those heavy metals like arsenic in your water supply. So since that time, I became a filtered water kind of guy. After I made those changes to my deficiencies and my intolerances and the heavy metals, I didn't necessarily notice a big boost in my mental health or my mood. I didn't notice that I was feeling happier by a large degree. But what I did notice was slight differences in my physical health. So I go to the gym normally before work, so I'm normally out the door at around 5:45 or 6 in the morning. So I'm tired a lot of times at that time. And after making these changes to my diet, I did notice a little bit more step in the morning, a little more energy. So I think that could translate better physical health into eventually leading to better mental health or a boost in mood. So I definitely see the potential for the connection there between treating vitamin deficiencies, vitamin, mineral, and nutrient deficiencies, and the potential for mood in my own personal experience. So I hope that information on how to find what your deficiencies are and then how to treat your deficiencies and what that has the potential to do for your health was helpful information. Thank you for listening. Bye.